No pain, no gain. That's what our next guest says about Elliott Hill's turnaround plan for Nike. Joining us now is Sam Poser, Williams Trading Equity Analyst. And Sam, you cut your price target on the stock following these numbers. You cut it to 93 from 97 here. You had already anticipated that this was going to be a process, right? But are things going to be a little bit tougher in the short term than you expected?
Underneath the hood, things were worse than what we expected, but that was all caused by the prior leadership. And the bigger surprise was the implied fourth quarter guidance, where there's going to be more headwinds, but that's because the old leadership didn't innovate and then probably took orders on a bunch of stuff that they never should have taken orders for, and they can't stop that from coming, so that's going to stay promotional. But none of this is new. All it was exposed today. And I've been covering Nike a long time, and even when things have been tough there, I've rarely heard such a blunt assessment of where the company stood and what needed to be done. And I thought that was very refreshing, and it's just going to be very refreshing. And when I upgraded the stock some time ago on Elliott's hire, really, or before Elliott's hire, but feeling there was a change coming, I believe that it was 15 to 18 months post when whoever it is started, and so you can start that clock on October 14th when Elliott started. But in that case, nothing's really changed except for the near term. The near term's a little bit worse, but they're being very aggressive and doing what they need to do.
You talk about the blunt assessment on the call. Was that enough to give you confidence in Elliott Hill's ability to successfully execute this turnaround plan?
It firmed up my thoughts. I have spoken to a lot of ex-Nike people that have known Elliott a long time. They were all very positive about him. One person I spoke to who'd been with Nike forever said, I said, what do you think of the change? And they said it should have happened sooner. You talk to their wholesale partners, and they all know him and are very excited about it. One retailer where a group of Nike representatives were in their office that Thursday evening when it was announced that Elliott was coming in, they stopped and applauded. So his reputation preceded him, and yes, he wasn't spinning last night, which you get a lot of. You've got a lot of that of late with Nike, and I thought that again. Yes, I think it's real, and I think there's a lot of motivation on campus that wasn't there 61 days ago.
Right. And Sam, from what we know thus far about what Hill is doing, he's made some management changes, shuffling around. I know he's sort of done some reorienting around the sports verticals. These early indications, do you feel like he's on the right track?
Yeah, but it's heavy lifting. Yeah, but yeah, definitely. I mean, one of the things that he has to do, and they talk about, I forget, it's the category offense. They're basically returning to that. And what they have to do is they're getting like the whole running business under one umbrella, men's, women's, and kids, versus having it done in men's and women's and kids as separate verticals, and then not having those talk to each other. And while it sounds pretty basic, it's very important to get things done. Plus, I believe that there was a lot of product that was passed over as the prior administration was trying to overcook the Dunks and Air Force Ones and so on and so forth. And so I think there's some product in sample rooms that may facilitate the turnaround, a turnaround, on the shorter end of on the front end of 15 to 18 months. And we should start hearing about that from retailers who see product come February through May, let's say. So, I get where people are. I get why the stock's down, but I mean, you have light at the end of the tunnel, which you did not have under the prior leadership.
And Sam, just to dig a little bit more into the timeline that you're looking at, you said 15 to 18 months, and we could see some real signs of progress really on the front end of that. Anything last night that changes your calculation on that front? I mean, it's a decent amount of time to wait for an investor.
Well, yeah, it is, except for the fact, as I mentioned, that if you know if it's Foot Locker, JD, Dick's, Famous Footwear, Shoe Carnival, and others, if they start seeing good product, you're going to start hearing about that at least 6 months before that change happens, which will be very positive for the stock. And all of those retailers that I mentioned, while there's not a lot of great product out there at the moment, are very, very excited about the strategy decisions and sort of the refocus on that wholesale partnership. And the senior people have known Elliott a long time, and as well as Tom Petty, who is running the U.S. business, and they're having conversations now, strategic conversations that they haven't had in over 4 years, and that's and all of that leads to improvement going forward.
All right.
And none of that changed with the earnings call.
Right.
Sam, we got to leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Happy holidays. Bye-bye.
You too. Thank you.